Hey everybody. I'm just putting this at the beginning that we spoil My Hero Academia season 4 at around the 35 or 36 minute mark of this episode. I'll be putting exact timestamps in the description. I'll see you in the episode. Hey everybody, welcome back to Podcast and Such, where we are watching Mob Psycho 100, 2 episodes at a time. I'm Jay.
And I'm Luke.
And today we are covering episodes 5 and 6 of Season 2, Discord Choices, and Poor Lonely Whitey.
That was an interesting title.
Right, and that's, by the way, in reference to white-collar workers, I believe.
Oh, okay. I was confused.
Yeah, it's Reagan, and it's also the name of, like, the staffing agency that his mom sent him an email for or something. It was like...
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So that's like... Yeah. White-collar workers. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, nothing worse.
But yeah, so we're wrapping up the Mogami arc here, as people call it, with Mob's awful times in the mind world.
Awful times in the mind world. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It looked really cool.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it's a very that episode just looks particularly cinematic to me in a lot of ways, with its shading, and I think the art directions, it's thinner lines, but I would say slightly off-model characters in a way, but in a way that assists what they're trying to do.
Yeah, Mob looked weird a lot of the time.
Yeah, his face is like longer sometimes, and his eyes were drawn kind of funny. But yeah, I think it assisted what they were trying to do to tell this little short.
Yeah, it was cool. And like they did the black bars too, made it that kind of like
Widescreen, yeah.
widescreen look, yeah.
Yeah, they started that the episode before. That's how the episode ended, was with the bars kind of coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm glad they continued that throughout the episode, and it was only by the end that they finally took the bars away. Or I guess in the Reagan and Dimple segments, they took them away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was cool. It lended to having a specific feel for the mind world stuff.
Yeah, it definitely, made it its own place. It's almost its own little show here.
Yeah.
Within a show.
Yeah. There was parts of it that was much more I don't know, anime-esque, Mob eventually fighting like big monsters and stuff.
Yeah, I'd say this is the most shonen of the battles we've had so far in terms of just feel and scale.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that he's fighting across a big city, or the suburbs, or wherever he's at, it very much reminded me of like Indy from Full Metal Alchemist being made up all the souls of Xerxes, and I guess that was all the ghosts that Mogami had absorbed and eaten whatever, as when he was both alive and probably as a spirit too. He could probably still eat ghosts. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. But yeah, so some fun dark stuff for Mob to go through. He was already kind of living kind of a lonely existence pre-series. But here, not only is he living his lonely little life, but also he's being bullied constantly and has no parents and no brother. Just absolutely no one.
Yeah.
So that was good times. Good times for him.
Yeah, for sure. It was really interesting setup there.
Yeah. Yeah, so kind of the opposite of a Lotus Eater machine, as we were talking about last week, but people do categorize it as that. under TV tropes and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's a mind world meant to trick you or whatever. It's supposed to, he was supposed to in the end the goal of the illusion was to get him to decide to use his psychic powers for like evil or whatever.
Just however he wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's sort of however he wanted to, but also Mogami seemed to be strongly hinting that he should probably use them for like revenge or whatever.
Right, but
In some ways.
he's appealing to that on the idea that deep down Mob would want to, you know, use them for revenge. That's like the base desire.
Right. Okay. I see what you mean now. Yeah.
The desire underneath the more like virtuous desires that he's taken on from being connected to other people.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I liked how Megami was like all the insects.
Yeah, that was like a really good I don't know what to even call that device motif, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah. Just that was great.
Yeah.
Just him being like a mantis or a moth or whatever.
Hmm. Spider.
Spiders, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Uh,
was really cool. And that made the eye catch for the episode, all those insects rendered in pencil.
yeah, yeah, that was cool.
Oh yeah.
And then the girl's there. What's her name?
Minori.
Minori. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was confusing because like I
Minori Mogami.
yeah, Minori
Yeah,
Megami.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
which
yeah,
one are we referring to here?
yeah. Yeah, I get you. I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a little confusing.
Right, right. Well, and it doesn't help that they shared a body this whole time, and it's like,
Hmm.
in last episode when we were discussing, I was like, well, should I call her Mogami out? Whoever she is.
Sure. But yeah, yeah. She was technically there, I guess, like also trapped in the mind world from what
Yeah, I think
from
I
her
guess.
reaction at the end.
Yeah, I'm guessing that even though Mogami was occupying her body, her mind was also her mind and soul were also in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, uh, yeah, so she remembers a good bit of that, I suppose,
Hmm.
and
Being
was
a
also
bully.
yeah, yeah, yep. Yeah, man,
Being a
gotta
big
secure
old bully.
social status.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that scene was interesting with the whole what was it you may not understand why she's doing this, but she's doing it to secure her social status, and
Hmm.
that's a perspective I've never gotten on that sort of thing, I guess.
Why people bully?
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah,
Yeah.
like specifically. I mean, yeah, it's usually the whole hurt people thing
Yeah,
or
sure.
whatever, but I feel like that's a very specific thing that I've never like heard.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that it's sort of to secure some level of social power influence.
Yeah, and it makes sense. It makes
Yeah.
sense. So, yeah.
It was very like there's a lot of themes in there about like don't you shouldn't care about the weak. You should, you know, uh cultivate your own strength and be powerful and great and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I very much see that.
Yeah. Which was
Yeah.
kind of weird by the time we got to the end and, Mugami basically explained that by taking that path he inadvertently had killed his mother to some degree, or at least it was heavily implied that one of the reasons she died was because uh, of the evil spirits he was bringing into her vicinity.
Yeah, so I think that Mogami there, he feels like he was being used for all
Uh-huh.
those like assassinations and stuff. Like even though he chose to do that out of desperation, of course.
Yeah.
But I guess he considered that using his psychic powers not for himself but for others in a way.
Hmm.
He felt used.
Sure.
Um,
But he was like, I guess, trying to accrue power then, or I
well,
guess
no,
are
I
we?
think I think so. I this was so before, so after his mother died is when he decided to start like eating ghosts and stuff and
Oh,
becoming
okay,
a vengeful spirit afterwards. I think
gotcha.
that's when he decided to do that.
Okay,
So I guess he was like, "Oh well, I already got all this evil around me. I might as well get some more and then die and be a real awful evil spirit."
as one is wont to do.
Yeah, I mean that's the 10-year plan.
Yeah, a plan for when you don't have any other plan, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
Oh yeah, that was so in like one of the final scenes where Mob is being picked on by all those people and they're all kicking him and stuff and when he
Mhm.
finally after he activates his powers and all in the anime Minori says, I'm going to get my dad's bodyguards to like beat you up or whatever and he says, I
Mhm.
doubt it. In the manga, she said, I'm gonna make sure you get expelled from school and never get a job. And the mob says, "So what?"
Ooh,
Like he's done with his 10-year plan.
yeah. Mob's gonna be a neat.
Yeah, yeah. Or a vengeful evil ghost or something.
Yeah, yeah.
One of those things. Yeah, so I'm gonna send you a couple of images here of the stuff that so they cut down this episode quite a bit. Um and some of it for time and then some of it of like what you're allowed to show on TV.
Right.
So like, they straight up just like killed that cat that Mob was trying to feed.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
And they knock out a tooth
He
from
looks
Mob.
so strange.
I know you're used to the anime and how it looks.
Yeah,
Also, Mob is of course not looking great right now because he's all beat up.
yeah. Yeah, they beat the crap out of him.
Yeah, a lot of times. And then so here, before Mob got hit by a brick, he was also stabbed with a box cutter.
Oh, fun.
Yeah,
It's
so it was
interesting
good times.
in the anime, I couldn't determine that was a brick.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they kind of like.
It kinda looked like
Yeah,
a
that scene
book.
goes by so fast. Yeah, it is a
It looked
brick
like
though.
it looked like he just had, like, a big book.
I think it's like a cinder block.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, good lord.
yeah,
They're stabbing him and towing him to rot in hell, and
yeah. It's a good time for Mob.
yeah. Wow,
Yeah, it's a dark freaking episode to watch this happen to him.
for sure. Okay, so, like, that was interesting that they did try and do a little bit of that with, after he gets hit by the brick, he has, like, blood running down his face.
Yeah, yeah.
That was sufficiently creepy,
Yeah, I like that. That was like a cool, very iconic image from the show.
but they didn't, I guess they didn't, like, mess up his face as much as the comic did.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and again, it's a little longer this whole thing in the
Yeah.
comic. So they just cut out a few scenes where it's like, yeah, I get it. He's being bullied and beat up every day or whatever. Like
Yeah.
we get the point. Yeah.
We get it.
We get it.
Yeah,
So they were like, we're gonna tell this story in like 5 or 7 minutes, really, and then the
okay.
rest of the episode is him exercising Mogami and stuff with Reagan and Dimple.
Yeah. Get to the shonen stuff.
Yeah, get to the shonen stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So I guess in the outside world, we got Reagan and Dimple hanging out, and Dimple's like, "No, Reagan, we got to get out of here.
Mhm.
Mob's probably dead. Just
Most
probably,
likely.
most likely." And Reagan's like, "No, I'm gonna stay." And he's like, "Are you stupid?" It's like, "Well, Reagan's like, "Listen, we're all stupid here. I trust him.
That
He
was a
trusts
really good
me."
one.
Yeah, he trusts us because he's stupid. We can still use him, Dimple.
Wow. I guess maybe some of that comes out a little bit in the next episode.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I did remember liking that line with, like, Reagan saying he's stupid and then
yeah.
same mob's stupid too.
Yeah, yeah.
We're all
We're
just
all stupid
stupid.
here, Dimple. You gotta join us, alright?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so, Dimple decides to go inside, because he's like, I'm not waiting around to see if Mob dies or not.
Mhm.
Gotta go get in there. So he does, and, shows up in that guy's nose
Yeah, that was weird.
as Mob tries to, more strangulation in the show,
Mhm.
you know?
Oh,
It's running theme, running theme.
gotta strangle some people. Mhm.
Yeah, and so, I like the whole I like a good snapback to reality moment of, like,
Mhm.
him telling him, "Look at the way you're acting, don't you wanna be a good big brother," and,
Yeah,
uh, you don't wanna disappoint Reagan, do you? And, aren't you letting these guys beat you up? Aren't you part of the body improvement club?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I like that moment of him. Oh yeah, remember all of his friends and family, and I like that in when he thinks about Ritsu and Teru, he thinks about Teru still in the Katniss wig.
Mhm.
So that either means to me that Teru either has another Katniss wig just knocking around somewhere, or Mob is just very surprised every time he sees Teru. He's just like, "Where's the wig?"
Yeah. Or maybe this is, like, the platonic form of Teru, in Teru's true self, he's
Yeah, Teru as God intended.
yeah, with his cactus wig.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's how Teru is meant to be.
Yeah, I still think his hair from, like, his first appearance is probably the best
Yeah,
hair.
yeah, yeah. It was a nice haircut.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll grow it out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's
But
like
for now, he's Naruto.
basically, which is just, like, so strange because like, by anime logic, you know, even if you, like, destroy the cactus wig or whatever, right? It's like, you could basically just draw his hair however you want.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the way they chose to draw his hair. Like what?
Yeah, I don't know why they chose to make Teru such a, like, basic, uh, generic anime protagonist,
I don't know if they meant to make him look like Naruto. He just happened to.
but now it's here. It's like,
But now it's here. Yeah.
you could change this at any time. Teru's not a real person.
I know, but that's just the way that One and Bones decided to draw him, and that's what he looks like, Luke.
I know, but you can, I'm just saying you can change things. Like,
Yes,
even
I know.
even apparently, there's the glorious One Piece uh
Yeah,
example, apparently you can just change characters part of the way through a series.
yeah, you can, yeah. You did go through some large redesigns there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Every female character got breast augmentations.
oh gosh, they made Chopper into even more of a mascot than usual.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, apparently you can just change stuff, guys, but maybe
Yeah.
one doesn't know that.
Well, obviously he knows that because he gave Teru a wig and then he took it away.
Right, but he's operating like within the logic of the universe. Like, apparently you don't have to do that
Okay.
because they chop the wig off and then it's
Yeah,
like, oh, okay, so now he would have like shorter hair when it just go back to the way it was
it was.
before.
Yeah.
It's like, but this is your manga one. It can go back to the way it was before.
Well, maybe he likes this haircut better, Luke.
Oh,
Have you
yeah.
considered that?
No.
Have you considered that your tastes are not the best?
And, he obviously understands that when it comes to the Super Saiyan mob kind of stuff, because like or maybe he's going Dragon Ball Z logic where it's like
Oh, his
apparent
hair's growing.
apparently your hair grows when you channel a certain amount of power, because like Mob's hair is obviously longer than it is when he goes into his Super Saiyan form to fight the evil spirits.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah, he certainly is taking artistic liberties there.
Yeah.
Uh, but
And then this time Mob's eyes were like red.
yeah. So every time we've seen his eyes with both irises and pupils, they're usually red.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. So they didn't show it on screen, but and they made it more clear in the manga. This is that explosion is 100% courage. If you didn't deduce that from the narration.
Yeah, I sort of got it from the narration, but it didn't flash it up on screen like usual.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They do that a couple of times this season where I'm like, why didn't y'all put the title card? So I'll
Yeah.
be looking back at the manga and letting you know about
Okay.
those.
Cool.
Um,
Do you have
yeah,
all the manga?
yeah, around,
Nice.
kicking around. Well,
Kicking around.
fan translations of the manga.
You don't have the actual manga?
No, it's not all translated yet, and I want to be able to send you pages through the internet like this.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fair.
I mean, I might purchase it digitally. I don't know. I don't know. I think I like the idea of having the volumes.
Yeah. Is the manga finished or
It's been finished since like 2019.
okay.
Yeah,
So do you know if season 3 is going to be the last season or
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the last season. People are hoping for like OVAs or like a movie or something, but as for the Mob Psycho 100 story,
Mhm.
that is the however many volumes it was. This is it.
Mom, Mom, what do you
What do
want?
you want?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Interesting.
yeah, season 3 should be it.
Gotcha.
But there's been like at the big season 3 premiere sneak peek deal, the staff were talking about it and they said something along the lines of season 3 and beyond. So people are hoping for OVAs or perhaps there is a spin-off manga that was a single volume,
Uh-huh.
and so people are hoping that will be adapted into
Okay.
anime form of some kind.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, yeah, I'd love it to be adapted.
Mom, Mom.
What do you want? Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so we get a big old anime fight with. I really like the design of all those ghosts, all
Mhm.
red and everything. That was great looking.
Yeah.
Um,
Sick.
yeah. And yeah, so that looked pretty great. And 100% courage makes a mob the most anime he's ever been.
Yeah, he was very anime and it was very anime the whole power of friendship thing.
Yeah, yeah, very, very. Yeah, yeah, power of friendship and pushing through for his friends, but also I like the whole how much he kept talking about like I'm here to do a job. I've been asked
Yeah.
to do this. Doesn't matter how I feel about her. I gotta save her. This
Yeah,
is what
yeah.
I'm supposed to do.
It's really interesting to me. I'm trying to like track the theme of this show and like what it's
Mm,
trying to communicate,
mm-hmm.
because like I'm getting a lot of messaging in certain parts about like be true to yourself, your life is your own. Uh, your emotions are important to some extent. But then like episodes like this where they call on the almighty power of friendship and stuff like that is like such a such a more communitarian model,
I see, I see.
for understanding yourself. It's more like I think my friend tried to explain to me some of the philosophy of Heidegger recently,
Uh-huh.
and Heidegger like talks a lot about being and just like what it means to be, and he sort of situates being within the sort of community of other beings, and
Mm,
that
mm.
that your very being, this very self is not like it's not static in the sense that it exists entirely autonomous of other beings.
I see, I see.
If I understood my friend correctly.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I would argue here that there's a certain amount of, yeah, your life is your own and all that jazz, but you can also choose to live in community. Uh, and
Right. But like it's almost in this episode, if I'm gonna get nitpicky on the philosophy here,
okay.
um it seems to almost imply that it's not even chosen, that just whatever circumstance and who you're around has an effect on who you actually are, you know not that there's like an internal self that reacts to your surroundings, but actually like Mob says something specifically like, this is who I could have been.
Yeah, I think, yeah, he said, so if circumstances were different,
Mhm.
I may have done this or whatever. And I think there is a little bit of that you have to recognize that your circumstances do shape you in a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
ways. But I also think that yeah, yeah. I think it's both that circumstances do shape you in a lot of ways, but you can also choose how to react to the world around you.
Yeah.
And I think that the way that you choose to react to the world around you is built up by who you've met and whatnot. So, this mob here has never met Reagan. He has no family, no friends whatsoever. This
Mhm.
world that he has been placed in has been, specifically constructed to hurt and be cruel to him. And
Mhm.
there are no other factors other than that. There
Mhm.
is absolutely no hope or meaning to this world that he's existing in.
Yeah, yeah.
Compared to the real world where he has friends, family, hopes, dreams, and slightly better circumstances. And so if he were in a situation like this where he was being bullied constantly or whatever, he'd at least have the reprieve as well as the fact that he has the morals he has built up throughout
Mhm.
his whole life.
Maybe. I my only problem is like I feel like that is maybe reading other parts of the show, other parts of the text maybe
Mm.
into that moment. Because in that moment it seems like the impetus of Mob uh coming back to his senses is being reminded of the connections that he has, and
Well,
the
he's also being reminded that this thing that he experienced just now is not real.
yeah, yeah, and that
Yeah.
that's not real, but none of that is like a personal choice. It seems to all revolve around like realizing where he is in position to other people.
Mm. Okay, I mean, I can see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just interesting. I'm curious to
Yeah.
see what the overall theming
Of it all
of
will
the
all be. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
show ends up being. Like
Yeah.
what is their like in end of story narrative gonna look like, you know?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, no.
Yeah.
Good to be curious about, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was all really cool. That's
Oh,
not a
yeah,
knock.
very cool.
That's not
Yeah.
a knock on it. I prefer the communitarian approach, but
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, well, and I think, it's good that, you're engaging with the material here. You're not just letting it slide right off of you. You're like, "Hey, that might be thematically inconsistent."
yeah, yeah, I've just
Yeah.
well, that I remember specifically, from the theme songs especially, like getting a lot
Mm,
of
mm.
that sort of
Yeah.
individualistic uh sort of theming and going like, huh, I wonder how that's going to fit in, like overall,
Oh, I see, I see.
you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
is the ultimate lesson of this going to be, your individual autonomous emotions are like the most important thing about you, or is it going to be that uh your sort of your friends, your community is the most important thing about you, or some mix?
Mm,
I don't know.
yeah. Well, good questions to ask, man.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I like to ask questions.
Well, that's why made a podcast with you, man. Yeah. Oh yeah, we get to see the unknown percentage another time.
Yeah. What I just really want to know more about this Cthulhu eldritch being that exists inside of Bob.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Well, especially since when Mogami saw it, he was like a little baffled by it.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
some sort
And
of
if anybody would know what that is, it would be somebody I would say like Mogami or whatever who seems to know a lot about powers and spirits,
some
all
sort
that
of
jazz and souls.
eldritch horror just lives inside of Mob, apparently.
Yeah, when that's what's in there. That's what's hanging out.
I wonder if we're gonna get like a Kingdom Hearts moment with that, where
Yeah,
it's
like
like, you know, because even in this episode when they showed the eldritch entity or whatever, the unknown percent, uh, I remember there was a flash from that dark figure to Mob, all like in white, sort of
mhm.
signifying maybe the good versus the darkness or whatever. So it's like,
Mm.
what is the core of this thing? Is it darkness or is it light?
Mm, mm, mm.
So I referenced the famous Kingdom Hearts,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ansem's opening the door to darkness or whatever, and
Mhm.
opening Kingdom Hearts. He's like bringing all the darkness out. He's like, it's gonna be darkness party in here. That's not the actual
That's not the
words.
line.
That's not the
Okay.
line. But I
Okay.
remember Sora's line because he goes like, "You're wrong. Kingdom. I know in my heart that Kingdom Hearts is light."
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And
Oh yeah,
so,
I think we talked about this last episode, did we? Or an episode
um,
before?
I try and talk about it every day.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
Yeah, yeah, I'm fine with us slipping in a Kingdom Hearts
every
reference
every
here or there.
every day of my life, I try and meditate on Kingdom Hearts being
Oh,
light.
okay. Yeah. Cool, cool.
That was
Yeah.
foundational to my childhood.
Yep, yep. But so we had 100% courage and Mob feeling all the feelings of ghosts that are all dead and dying or whatever, and
Feeling all the
is this how
feelings.
yeah, yeah, is this how they felt when they were alive? Oh my god. It's awful.
Feels all the feels.
But yeah, so Mob does it. He defeats Mogami or whatever and wakes up and Mogami's ghost gets captured by Matsuo.
Matsuo.
Yeah, that guy with the bunch of spirits guy.
Yeah, that was really. I didn't understand why they flashed to Matsuo helping Dimple get in there until later when Mogami leaves
Mhm.
Minori's body and Matsuo captures him
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in the little thing. It's like, ah, okay.
Yeah,
That's what
he wants more ghosts, he's gotta catch them all.
I really enjoyed though the line they slipped in for Reagan where he's just like, wait, you're here?
Yeah, 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 he's like, "Wait, isn't that oh, I didn't even know he was here."
Yeah,
Yeah,
who are
yeah,
you?
yeah, yeah,
What's
this is
what's up with this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good moment, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, um so Minori, yeah, Mob's like, "So are you like that, like, all the time?" And she's like, "Well, yeah." Yeah, I am, yeah. It's
Yeah, that's
what
unfortunate.
you gonna do? But, it's, neat to see her, so genuinely apologetic here, and I guess, maybe seeing it from I don't know, if it's like a dream, did she get to see it from third person, or was she seeing it from first person, or the fact that he still saved her, probably brought some things in perspective for her.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, so apologies were made and apologies were accepted. Mom's like, you know what? I have to extend the same grace to others because, I know I can change. So why
Mhm.
can't anybody else?
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And so, yeah, so Reagan does not get the big payout, and it's not because Mr. Asakuri is dead. He's alive.
Yeah, what the heck, man? That was almost like a reverse, what's his name moment. Night Eye?
Night Eye, yeah.
Yeah. Where, like, they just let him survive an impaling long enough to
To talk
finally
to talk to the million decker,
yeah,
yeah.
long enough to die at a thematically appropriate time. But in this
Yeah,
case, they didn't make him die, they just had him survive a horrendous stabbing,
yeah.
just dumb.
Whatever. Well, so he's alive, and so Reagan says he didn't accept the money because of all the liabilities and all that jazz.
Yeah,
Can't do that. But they do have Mr. Asagiri has a vested interest in finding Bob. He kind of wants to, I guess, thank the guy who saved his daughter or whatever. But he was like, I didn't hire a middle schooler though, and
yeah, yeah.
you don't want to go through your registry and maybe call the psychics or something. No, you're gonna donate to the cult that's looking for Mob.
Yeah, the
And
psychic helmet cult.
yeah, and I looked up the amount of money that he gave them.
Yeah, 500 million yen, right?
Yeah, well, no more than that because it comes out to in US dollars $3.5 million,
Oh, wow.
which I'm kind of like, I wonder if that's what Reagan would have been paid.
Yeah, that would have been great.
But yeah, so the Psycho helmet cult now has some money.
Yeah, that but did I read that wrong? Was it not 500 million yen?
I think it was 500 billion yen.
500 billion, okay.
There's a lot of zeros there. I remember when I was
Yeah,
typing it in, I was like, gosh, there's so many zeros.
there sure is.
Yeah, a lot of zeros. Yeah. So, yep. So he'd like to find Mob, and so would the Psycho Helmet cult.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so the episode ends with Reagan being like, "Listen, Bob, you don't need what fame or power. You saw what happened to Mogami. You should stick with me forever, part
Yes.
time."
Part-time.
Which leads us into the next episode,
Yes. The
where
next episode.
yep. So we open up with Reagan quitting his job from 4 years ago.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, he used to sell water coolers,
Yeah, I guess he didn't want to sell water coolers anymore.
and probably not the most exciting job.
Yeah, but whew, but at least that was a job he could actually do.
I mean, and then so not only does he quit his job, he also rents an office space with no plan as to what he's gonna do with it.
Yeah, yeah. That was funny.
Yeah, but he sees a magazine with like prayer beads, power stones, or whatever, and he's like, I think I can fake being psychic.
Sure can.
Yep.
Yeah, this episode was interesting. Uh
Yeah, yeah.
Mobs building up friendships, and we're
Mhm.
getting some more attention to that thread I keep pulling at, you know. in the last couple of episodes where Mob is starting to become dissatisfied with his arrangement with Reagan here.
Yeah, you were right to like point that out in the first episode of season 2 here, where
Yeah.
Mob's just like, yeah, quit calling me. Just
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah,
Quit it. So yeah, so they're all celebrating birthday parties here and everything, and Mob's having such a nice time after being in a torturous mind world for 6 months. So he's like
yeah,
really grateful for the friends he has around him, and Reagan just has to come and screw all that up for him.
yeah, yeah,
uh but then his friends are also so kind and understanding, like, yeah, we get it, Kageyama. You have job and responsibilities and all that jazz.
yeah. It is crazy though. Like, he comes and dispels the tofu demon,
Tofu. Yeah.
the tofu spirit,
Yeah, yeah.
and then brings it up to Reagan again, and then Reagan like dumps on him.
Yeah, it was like that is such an interesting moment for Reagan. How, like, I don't know, I guess he was just on the defense about it, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
He's
so
trying
he
to
just decided.
rationalize how it's actually for Mob's benefit that he's doing this.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's like, goodness, he just has to take every shot he can. He's like, "Oh, why'd you fall for another fake date prank? Oh,
Uh,
all the friends you made aren't real, Mob. Don't you know they're just picking on you for being so freaking wimpy?" It's like, why are you,
yeah,
it's Reagan?
yeah.
Reagan, stop it.
That hurt. I want Emmy back.
But yeah, it's like, man, Reagan, you just, wow.
Yeah,
Not good, Reagan. One, and again, just saying all his friends are fake and all that jazz. When Mob has worked 2 whole seasons here on getting these friends, putting himself out
yeah,
there,
yeah,
and he's finally done it. And Reagan's just like, yeah, no, they're all fake. Don't you
yeah,
know I'm the only one who understands you, Mob?
yeah, man.
Yeah.
And that was interesting to see the fallout there. Mob basically,
Hmm.
ditches him and kind of
Yeah.
tries to figure out what he wants to do,
Hmm.
which is more of the mob, what do you want? The more,
Yeah.
your life
Yeah.
is your own kind of
Hmm.
theming. Um, and Reagan is just incredibly fortunate that, you know, Andrew Tate was not in business around the time that's happened.
What? Wait, what? Wait, what?
Well, I just feel like Reagan was very close to, like, because he figured out he was all alone and, existing in this sort of nebulous loser space. He would have been
Mm.
very susceptible to being red pilled.
Oh, okay, okay. I was okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, well, but here's the thing, Luke. Reagan's already got it all figured out, man.
yeah,
Reagan is a true Sigma. And
yeah,
a Sigma doesn't need friends. A Sigma doesn't need community. A Sigma only needs the grind and
that is
nothing
true.
else.
Which was we'll get to that later, actually.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
we'll get to that later because
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But so yeah, after Bob decides to ditch Reagan, Reagan goes, you know, to update his homepage at home, and it's like his birthday and stuff, and he didn't even remember it was. So we finally have a
yeah,
real like date on the show. I always forget, like, yeah, I'm always, when I watch these things, I'm always like, what month is it? And the show told me today it's October. So
yeah, October 10th, is that?
yeah, October 10th. Yep.
That's his
Uh,
birthday.
his the Ray in Reagan means zero, 2 zeros.
2 zeros.
Yeah, 2 zeros in October 10th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I was confused. I was like, It's 1010, not 00.
Well, there's a 0 in the
Zero.
number 10.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
interesting.
So, yeah, I like this scene a lot. It's very, very quiet. It's probably the
Mhm,
quietest scene we've had in the show, and all you can hear is like the computer fan.
mhm,
That's really interesting to me.
and his clicking.
And his clicking around, legally distinct Facebook and uh,
Friend book.
friend book.
Yeah,
And yeah, so he's got no messages from anyone, and he's got an email from his mom saying, "Hey, go get a real job and get married or something." Reagan, come on, or Artaka, I guess you wouldn't call him Reagan because it's his family name.
yeah. Well, not
Yeah,
in the anime.
well, no, even in oh no, whatever. Artaka, but it's whatever.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, so he he sees that, and, gets real down in the dumps and goes aside and goes and goes to a bar
Mhm.
and gets drunk off of nothing because that bartender didn't put any
Yeah, I
alcohol in
didn't
that
put any
drink.
alcohol in there.
But Reagan's in the business of lying, so he can lie to himself too. Uh, and yeah, so he says that these people are the closest things I have to friends. Just a bunch of people who get really hooked on MLMs, I guess.
Yeah, the kind of people he takes advantage of.
Yeah, yeah. So Reagan is living a very lonely life, we find out. It's not that he's got this great social world off screen when we don't see him with Mob.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't. When he gets home and he takes off his tie, it's not, "Oh, I have a book or a hobby I like to do," or something like that. It's, "Oh, I gotta go update the homepage."
Yep.
That
Poor,
spirits and such is his whole life.
poor lonely Whitey.
That's him.
Yeah.
He's the title character.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought it was like really clever the first time I heard that title. I was like, oh, and Reagan's got this really facetious description of the next episode. I thought it was supposed to be a kind of fake out. Like we're
Mhm.
supposed to think it's white tea poison
Oh, yeah,
in
yeah.
reference to Mav. Obviously it isn't, but
Yeah.
and they also don't call him that in Japanese. They call him Shiro tea poison. So
Shiro tea poison.
yeah, or I think it's Shiro tea, and then I forgot how you say poison in Japanese, but yeah,
Okay. What
they
is
still
Shiro?
call them tea.
Yeah,
What?
what is Shiro tea poison?
Yeah, white tea poison.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, but when and they say in Japanese, poor lonely whitey, like, or they say whitey in the same way in
Gotcha.
Japanese as we do in English. So yeah, so for a second there, I was like, oh, I'm real clever here. Reagan's like doing a doing a fake out here. Obviously, I think it's going to be Reagan who's the one who's going to be lonely, but I think he's trying to imply that Mob's going to be the one to have a bad time.
But Mob has a good time
Mob goes and does karaoke with Tomei and Inukawa.
and has no rhythm.
Yeah, let me share you another very important panel from the manga. Tambourine Boy.
Tambourine boy. Look at that. Man, it's so poorly drawn.
Shut up.
Mob-kun, do you feel the rhythm? I guess.
You feel, yeah, because they couldn't yeah, Bones added in the fact that Bob has no rhythm. Because
Oh,
that's
okay.
not something you can portray in text and image. You
Yeah,
can do that sound
especially
and movement.
especially not when you're so limited in your abilities.
I will destroy you one day. But
It
yeah,
tur it turns out you're one.
Yeah, yeah, I've been just really defensive this whole time about it because I'm him. Man, I would have been very impressed if I could have written this when I was 12 when it came out or 14.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good on you.
yeah. But yeah,
Yeah,
so yeah, Mob is well, I kind of like kind of like you having fun, Mob, and Mob's like,
no.
I guess so.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah,
he said, "I
he
guess
says
so."
or no, he says I think so?
I
Questioning
think
me.
so, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because Mob's kind of figuring out what he likes, I guess.
Yeah, yeah,
And I guess they couldn't get him to sing. They were just like, "All right, Mob, you don't gotta sing. You can just here's a tambourine."
yeah. Very nice.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, after yeah, Reagan uh gets real drunk off of nothing and goes and has a little existential crisis in the alleyway and vomits. He
Mhm,
decides I gotta be somebody. Now I gotta become someone.
right.
So the next day he decides to, keep taking on jobs that he can do uh without Mob and
Mhm,
live streams exorcisms and
yeah,
cleans up the city while wearing a thing that says spirits and such on it as free advertisement.
yeah, and then he gets addicted to Genshin Impact.
I was gonna compare it more to like World of Warcraft, but I don't
Something
know how
like
many
that.
microtransactions you can do in that game. Is that more? I don't know.
World of Warcraft probably has a bunch now. Um, I don't know if, like, it was that way in there's been sort of an upward trajectory in the microtransaction sort of world
Right.
where it's like if you listen to streamers or whatever who have been there since the beginning, like Asmongold or whatever,
Hmm.
they'll tell you that there was a time in World of Warcraft where people got angry because World of Warcraft started introducing things that you could buy in the store, you know,
Hmm.
and people were up in arms about it at the time. But now,
Right.
10 years later or whatever, it's like people are just upset that the stuff in the store sucks,
Right. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
or
It's yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like I remember there was a time where one of the first like big microtransaction debacles was that I think an Elder Scrolls game
Mm.
sold DLC that was you could spend $2 to get like armor for your horse or something. Maybe that was Warcraft or maybe that was Elder Scrolls. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically I chose Genshin for the microtransaction sort of viability because there's like in the big MMOs right now, like there are things where you can buy progress and stuff,
Hmm.
but it's not as like um spending money to get like good gear or whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
gen-
Yeah. No.
gen-
Yeah.
generally speaking, and the MMOs, the big ones at least, you even if you buy levels and stuff, maybe there's some gear you can get for your newly high leveled character or whatever, but most of the gear you have to grind for.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so it seems that this fantasy hell game that Reagan is playing
Yeah,
seems to be a pay to win or something, or at least pay to
sort
progress like
of.
a lot.
Um, I don't know if that was the implication. Because
Okay.
he did grind the crap out of it.
Yes, he did grind it. Yeah, yeah.
So he did grind it. I think the implication might be that, just whenever you get invested in these games, it's so
Mm,
easy when you're grinding to be like, well, I've been grinding for like 6 hours or whatever. Um,
mm.
I think I deserve a new skin, you know?
You think
I think
Reagan was just buying skins? Like,
yeah.
I thought it was like equipment and stuff. That's what I saw flashing by. Like
Or they put up various images of like, just like uh,
yeah,
stuff.
RPG items. Yeah,
RPG items, sure.
yeah.
But it's like I mean maybe it is pay to win, but like the implication didn't seem to me to be that he paid to win. It seemed like he paid with his time. He certainly
Yeah. I think I think it's supposed to be kind of a combination.
yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
from sipping those 5-hour energies or whatever, and
Yeah. Get into the real grind set.
yeah, the real grad set. There we go. Yeah, it's all Sigma needs.
Reagan
So
is a Sigma male. Yeah.
yeah, so he was able to quote unquote exercise. I'm guessing it's not. I. It's weird to come at this from a place of skepticism. I don't think it was a ghost. I think it was just a really good player,
Yeah, but
and
like
Reagan killed it.
the weird thing is that like if it was just a player, um, the player would just like come back, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know the rules of this non-existent RPG.
Yeah, they didn't really lay it out all that well.
Because I mean, he was able to kill it, or him, or whatever. And I guess when a player's dead, they're dead.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
this uh game, I don't know. Whatever.
Who knows?
Reagan does it. He pulls it off. Everybody's really impressed with him on like Twitter and stuff.
Mhm.
Uh, and he gains a lot of notoriety from it, and he continues doing his stuff. He's doing like counseling and seminars on how not to get scammed by fake psychics.
Yeah.
And yeah, and eventually he's invited to go on TV.
Mhm.
And we find out that Jodo of the psychic union is like setting him up because
Yeah.
Reagan kicked him with a knee strike to then knock a ghost out of him, and then somehow he's taken insult to this.
It was a totally necessary knee strike.
It was very necessary. Knee strike is the first special move of the season.
Oh yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, I forgot to mention it last episode, but yeah,
I love Reagan's special moves.
they're
Maybe,
very good.
maybe one day Mob will get a special move.
Yeah, maybe one day he'll have to call it out real out. The announcer will tell us about it. It'll be
Yeah.
great.
I guess, I do appreciate one aspect to continuously compare this anime to other animes in the
Mm,
small
yeah.
rotation of animes that
Mhm.
I know. Uh, I guess one thing I do appreciate about Mob is that he doesn't arbitrarily throw uh, like date names together with physical actions to describe what is basically the same couple of moves.
They're all different, I tell you. They all are. But man, I remember when we were watching Two Heroes in the theaters,
Yeah.
the one that we saw subbed. Uh, my favorite thing that happened was Deku yelling out Detroit Smash, and
Yeah.
then I heard somebody yell, "Can he say that?" Like, like, like as if All Might has like a copyright on this or something. But it's also like, yeah, way to keep your secret that like you and All Might are connected in some way, and
Yeah, yeah,
way to keep that a secret, Deku. Like you
yeah.
just jack his entire style.
Mhm. But yeah, fair point.
Oh my
Fair
gosh.
point.
But yeah, the episode ends with Reagan about to go on this TV special.
Mhm.
And only good things can come from this.
Right, right.
Yeah. Uh, anything else you wanted to bring? Oh, I want to bring up freaking uh before the karaoke scene, long before
Mhm,
that, before Reagan goes to the bar,
mhm,
he sees Mob out in the streets,
mhm,
'cause, he's walking around thinking, "Man, Mob probably wants to, crawl right on back to me or whatever,"
mhm.
uh, and then Dimple just comes up and says, "Yeah, by the way, Mob has not been thinking about you at all."
Yeah, yeah, that hurts.
Yep, yep, he hasn't even mentioned you, it's been pretty great. And, and Reagan's trying to be like, "Well, is if Mob doesn't hang out with me, he's not gonna use his psychic powers and won't become the big, strong psychic you want him to be or whatever," and Dimple's just like, "Yeah, whatever. I don't really care about all this. I don't care what you have to say about this, Reagan.
Yeah.
As long as I
Oh,
never have to
Reagan.
really see you ever again, that'd be great." And,
Reagan is such a tough one,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like, there's aspects of him that you really like, but then there's aspects of him that's like,
yeah.
you kinda suck."
Oh, yeah, he's large, he contains multitudes, like I've said.
Sure,
And
sure.
oh yeah, and then I guess earlier back, Ritsu's also pretty happy that Mob's not seeing Reagan anymore. Or at least that's what I
Yeah,
deduced from the scene.
they play video games.
Yeah, he gets to play video games with his brother. He's like, "Oh man, it's great when my brother doesn't hang out with a fraud psychic."
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
still
yeah,
I
yeah.
still have a picture of you on my phone with, playing a video game or something, I can't remember. You're holding a red PS4 controller.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember what context that was in, but,
Nice. Yeah, yeah. Send that to me later. I want to see it.
Yeah, yeah. I gotcha.
Nice. Yeah, but yeah, and in that scene, Mob kind of lays out that they're it's not really about them being in a fight, just that he kind of wants to take some time away to think about what he wants to do, and that following Reagan has been good, yeah, but it's also just been easy. It's been the easiest thing for him to do.
Right, right, yeah. Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the whole that's that episode. Um
Yeah.
the next episode's title is Cornered True Identity.
Mhm.
Do you have any guesses or whatever about what that might be about? Oh, yeah, that's me.
I don't know why you were cracking up so hard, but
I don't know. Well, I think for whatever reason, yeah, and you decided to take a picture or whatever. I
yeah,
don't know.
you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, corner true identity. I
Yeah.
mean, the obvious answer is that Reagan gets, found out as a fraud, on
Hmm.
national television. But I don't feel like it's going to go that way. I feel
Oh
like
yeah.
that's too obvious.
Too obvious. Okay.
You know what I mean?
What
I
might
wonder.
be the counter way it could go?
I don't know. Maybe one of these other guys is a fraud, and
Oh,
they get found out.
well, I mean, so it's just Jodo and Reagan here,
who are
and then
who
the
are the
other
other two
two.
guys?
The other two, one was so we have the host.
Hmm.
I don't think he's going to be a psychic. Then we have some sci-fi writer, and
Oh
then
yeah,
a like teen pop idol.
Teen Pop Idol.
Yeah,
Maybe she gets found out to be a fraud.
and okay, sure.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah, maybe so.
there's a lot of fraudulent pop idols out there.
In what way? What?
You know,
In what way?
just
Like
in the
what?
way,
What's
ju- just in the way I said.
what? Like what's the grift here? What do they think?
Uh, being good. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. Whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. But yeah. Yeah, so yeah, that's that. Cornered True Identity.
Yep.
Go see Reagan on national TV doing his thing.
Yes. which is grinding salt onto people.
Yeah, man. What else would you do? What else?
Use some sort of psychic power.
Oh yeah, one thing I meant to bring up,
Hmm.
because you were talking about uh like episode 2 of the season,
Hmm.
about Reagan like slowly unlocking his powers or whatever.
Oh
Uh
yeah, yeah, yeah.
which doesn't seem to be the case to me at least. But
Right,
I'll
right.
say in that final episode of season 1
Hmm.
when Dimple said, "Hey, you finally unlocked your powers," and then Reagan said, "No, I didn't." I immediately thought, I was like, "Wow, Reagan, why are you in such denial?"
Huh. Yeah, because like he can see Dimple now, but is that it? Just Dimple?
That seems to be it. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Maybe he's a slow grower.
yeah. Maybe so. Yeah, this is great for our audio podcast. Just
Oh yeah,
us
yeah.
nodding together.
We nod in sync. It's in the genes.
Yep. All right. Anything else you wanted to say, or I'll sign off?
Uh, don't don't play Genshin Impact and spend all your money on microtransactions.
Not a bad thing to end off on.
Yeah, or League of Legends. Not
Yeah.
even once.
3 in a row. 3 in a row. 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for listening to Podcast and Such. Join us next week as we watch episodes 7 and 8 of season 2. See you then.
Bye.